Right now, Iran is under pressure at home, and it is signaling outward. In Tehran, the leadership is talking about survival, while the streets are boiling and the security system is moving into emergency mode. And here's the question Israel cannot ignore. If Iran decides to shift the fire outward, if it decides to answer humiliation and instability with a missile moment or crisis, can Israel protect itself from mass salvos over multiple fronts for weeks, not for one single night? Because this is not theory. This is how regimes behave when they feel cornered. Here's the problem. When your economy cracks, your legitimacy collapses, and your people stop being afraid, you don't always calm things down. Sometimes you escalate. Sometimes you point outward. In recent days, reports describe Iran's top security leadership meeting overnight, discussing how to contain protest, and at the same time preparing for the possibility of military escalation. There were also reports of missiles-related drills and air defense activity across multiple locations, including Tehran. Now connect that to Israel's reality. Israel does not get to choose a single front timeline. Israel lives in overlap. Gaza, the north, the sea lanes, long-range threats, and the Iranian axis behind them. And that leads to the only responsible question. What changes the defensive equation? Israel's classic answer has been layered interception. Iron Dome, David Sling, arrow, missile on missile. Expensive, yet effective. But in long wars, economics become strategy. Inventories become strategy. Endurance becomes strategy. And that's the point. This is why Israel has pushed for a new layer. Not another missile, but a laser. Because if you can intercept low-cost threats with low-cost defense, you save the expensive interceptors for the high-end threats. You stretch the system. You reduce exhaustion. You stay in the fight longer. This week, Israel's defense establishment formally brought in a new capability that was science fiction just a few years ago. A high-power laser interceptor designed to take on rockets, mortars, and drones at close range, again and again, without running through missile stockpiles. It's called Eton, or Iron Beam, and it carries a name that is not technical at all. It carries a name of loss, a name of a fallen soldier, a name of a father who helped build a system meant to save lives. Tonight, we're going to do two things in the right order. First, we're going to understand the system. No hype, no slogans, just the mechanism. What can it intercept? What can't it intercept? And what does it change in real war? Then, after the midpoint, we're going to talk about the name. Who was Etan and what it means to carry your son into the defense of this country. I'm Mati Shoshani, here at Boots on the Ground, bringing you the truth about what's happening in Israel. As a Middle East analyst, today I want to take you a close look at what Israel is building for the next round, and what that means when Iran is under pressure and the region is unstable. But first, guys, like, subscribe, and share. We stand for the truth. We fight lies, propaganda, and anti-Semitism, and we do it together. Why this interview, and not who? There are moments when a war doesn't change because someone gives a speech. It changes because a new capability enters the field. And this is one of those moments. The public hears laser and thinks Hollywood, but the real story is operational. Cost per intercept, time to engage, rate of fire, and what happens when you face hundreds of incoming threats and you must choose what to spend and what to save. So tonight, we're not doing personalities. We're going straight into the substance, because the substance is what protects cities, protects bases, borders, and families. So let's take a quick break, because what we do here matters. If you're with us in this fight for truth, against lies, against propaganda, and against anti-Semitism, help us keep going. Like this video, subscribe and share it. This is how you push truth into the feed. Now, let's get back into it. Now I can tell you who you're hearing from. This is Dov Ostel. He was involved in the development side of this project inside Israel's defense ecosystem. Someone who understands what it takes to move an idea from a lab into a real operational system. And he's also the father of Captain Eton Oel, a soldier who fell in combat. The system carries Eton's name, Or Etan, Etan's light. I brought him here for one single reason, because this is not theory for him. It is a mechanism, and it is meaning. And now we can go deeper. So I'll start from the beginning. Iron beam, Or Etan in Hebrew. How does the system work? We've seen the videos, we've seen the news clips. What does it actually do?
The laser is something old in the 60s, and the idea that you can focus an energy on a target and destroy it is something not new.
Yeah.
The problem was technical problem, how you can do it, because you need, first of all, a lot of energy, you need to focus it, and you need to go through the atmosphere. All these things are a challenge. So the first thing is how you can make a very good laser. Good laser means that I can focus it very accurately and very tight. In the old times, they tried to use flowing material like gas or liquid, but this requires to replace the material all the time. You have to burn it. So you need a lot of material, tons and tons of it, in order for it to operate. So if you have a lot of targets, like we have the rockets, it's not practical solution. So you need something solid that you don't have to replace. The best thing is that the energy will come from electricity. Convert it to light, to laser, and then the laser is, you can emit it and transmit it to the target. So how you can make a very big or intense laser beam? That was the problem, and still work with something solid, so it will hit a lot. So the solution was try to have a small laser and combine them together.
Multiple small lasers.
Multiple small lasers. So each laser is not challenged, but the problem is that when you combine such a lot of lasers, like 100 lasers, the quality of the beam, possibility to focus it, is very hard, even impossible. So you need to control each beam in order for you that you have the capability to focus it. Now there is two solutions. One that all the world tried to use was what we call spectral beam combining. Each laser, each small laser has a different color. And then you combine it through a prism, like we see in the rainbow. White light divided to a lot of colors. So you can do the other way around, put a lot of colors and combine it to one white light. That's the spectral beam combining. We come to the next problem is the atmosphere. When you transmit the laser, you are trying to focus it very tight, but the atmosphere disturbs you. And everyone knows that in the summer when you are going through the road, everything is moving, especially in hot weather. So you can imagine what happened to the beam when it goes through such a thing for a few kilometers, not just meters. The laser is totally disturbed and no energy is on the target. So you have to tackle the atmosphere. The way we do it is by combining the laser in different way. We call it phase. We control the phase of each laser. What we do is look into the atmosphere, see the very weak beam, and then play with each of the laser in order that at the end it will focus. So as a matter of fact, what we do is transmit a beam that the atmosphere corrected. So the atmosphere
I see what you're saying.
correct the beam, and then at the target we get the focus again.
I've seen a lot of people try to explain this. They say, well, people, they have these massive laser systems. It's on a ship, it's on a plane, it's the size of a bus. This is much smaller and going to continue getting smaller. What you're saying is you reversed engineered it. Instead of saying, let's have one big solution on the ground that fixes everything, you're saying, let's work with what's up in the sky where the target is and modulate the different elements of the laser so it actually reaches it the right way.
Exactly. So we play with each laser, adjust it in order that at the target we will get the maximum energy. The atmosphere is moving or fluctuating in 1 millisecond, 10,000 times per second.
And you're compensating for that.
Yeah, and we can change we can adjust the lasers, each laser, in times of 1 microsecond, 10 times better. So wow. we can play a lot of times in order to get the maximum energy on the target. That's really the breakthrough. The two things. One is using small laser instead of one big one, which is much simpler, and then controlling each one of them to overcome the atmosphere problem. Then we come to the next problem, is you have to track the target very accurately. If your beam will wander on the target, then you will not hit it. As you know, if sometimes someone is putting a blower on you, if it's not steady, you don't feel it.
How long does the laser need to be on a target for it to be?
It depends on the ranges and on the cut target, but we are talking about seconds.
A handful of seconds?
Less than 10.
Less than 10. I want to combine the picture of what we understand. You explained the background, which was the missing piece for, I think, most people, which is how does a laser actually work? And then there's the whole other system, which I think a lot of people have seen. They've seen Israel fight against the Iranian attack last summer. They've seen the Israeli systems, Iron Dome and Arrow and several others, intercept the rockets coming out of Gaza, then Lebanon. And so they understand the idea of the target acquisition and the tracking of the target. And then you're saying there's another really big piece here, which is the laser. You're saying this in a very technical term. I did some reading before I came to this interview. Many countries have tried and failed completely in deploying a system that works this way, including selling systems that don't work to other countries, without naming anyone right now. And here we are, Israel, a very small country, thinks, and you explain it in such a matter-of-fact way. Well, all we did was 1, 2, 3, 4. It's been 60 years of research on this topic, and you guys cracked the code on it. And you combine the laser, the tracking that we already have, the knowledge of multiple years of really figuring out the system, and you combine it in a system that does something that people thought was impossible. That's what we're talking about right now.
We are called the Startup Nation.
Yeah.
It means that first of all, everyone is interested in solving problems, specifically defense challenges, and everyone in Israel feel that it's his problem, not just someone over there. So you can talk with all of them, and in a minute they understand the problem, understand the challenge, and they take it on themselves. So if you get very bright people, and specifically entrepreneurs, people that take the risk, they believe in something and they try it, that's what you get. You get a solution in places where everyone else didn't even try, because it was a little suspicious or very risky to try it. I think it's very special for Israel that when you have a challenge, everyone is combining forces to solve it.
The Middle East is complicated. Evil thrives here and wears many different faces.
But in the middle of it all is Israel, a tiny democracy fighting for its life against extremist regimes and terrorist armies that glorify death, not life.
And yet somehow the world calls us the aggressor.
Because evil has hijacked the narrative and twisted the truth.
And the West? Well, too often it believes the lies because comprehending such evil is hard. And when people can't understand it, they misplace the blame.
This battle isn't just about Israel. This is a threat to the entire free world.
Because when the truth dies, freedom dies with it.
So stand with Israel, defend the truth, and make sure it gets out to the entire world. Go to www.tbn.org/standwithisrael and donate now. Our future depends on it.
Many years ago, I sat down with Danny Gold, who is considered to be the father of the Iron Dome system.
Mm-hmm.
And I say this to make a point. People look at these stories and they say, oh, look, they put together a system. And I understand is very impressive about these things is that it's not one technical problem that was solved. It was multiple disciplines in a very short amount of time across multiple industries. So in the Iron Dome case, it was the manufacturing of a rocket that was able to do what the engineers wanted it to do. It was the tracking of the objects. It was the decision-making matrix on what you intercept and what you don't. It was the time on that and then combining all of it into a working system that can be operated by young Israelis in the army. That itself, it's not just the one technology, it's all of them together and then keeping the costs low enough so it doesn't bankrupt the country every time we use it. Now you've done the same thing again, except this time it's much cheaper. One of the criticisms of any rocket let's call it rocket-centered solution is that there's a cost to it. They're firing from Gaza or Lebanon or whatever, this garage-made almost rocket, and we have to fire sort of the pinnacle of Western technology to intercept it. And now you've solved that problem too. It's a solution that costs, from what I've read, let's say $1 to operate on the electric, whatever.
We are arguing if it's $10 or $20.
It's marginal, let's put it that way.
Another thing is that you don't have a problem of inventory. After a war, you have to, if you have missiles as a protection, then you have to buy again the same quantity or even larger quantities, and it takes time. So we're not ready for another war. But here, the war will not influence us because we just have to put gasoline. We have the energy, and that's it. So the idea is that our enemies now have to think again on their solution.
One of the stories about October 7th, 2023 is that Hamas leadership was afraid of Iron Beam becoming operational. Have you heard this theory?
I
don't know how true it is, but when I'm piecing this together, they said we'll lose the ability to actually threaten the people of Israel once they have the laser system. So there's some kind of ticking, let's call it, countdown of when we can actually launch an attack against Israel. I don't think it was a decision on the date, but it was, let's call it on the strategic level, it was some kind of deadline where we have to do this on the Hamas side, the Iran side, before Israel has the system, because once they do, they eliminate the threat. I want to ask you a couple technical questions on what kind of threat does this eliminate? And you numbered a couple of them. So it's small drones, large drones. Is it mortars? Is it missiles? But if you go higher into the atmosphere, are we talking short-range ballistic missiles, long-range ballistic missiles, ICBMs, things that are the size of a bus that are flying through the sky? What's the limit on this laser's capability?
Right now, the system is called Iron Beam or Eton in Hebrew. The main target is drones and short-range rockets or small-sized rockets, 120 millimeter or something in this range, mortars.
Mortar is very short range.
Still, it's a very big problem in the north. When you are close to the border, our citizens are very close to the border, so mortar are a threat. But what we have succeeded in the technology aspect is that we can enlarge the laser. As we said before, small laser. So let's say that we have 100 now, we can put 1,000. So we can get much larger laser. We decided to focus on the short range because this is the large quantities. Now that we solve or tackle the technology challenges, we can go to whatever we want. We can do a small laser in order to put it on a tank or a AFV or something like this, and help the forward forces to tackle anti-tank missile, RPGs, or whatever. This is the small ones. And then you can go to a very big one that can tackle the ICBM.
One thing that I didn't know before we sat down here is you're talking about the accuracy. And again, now you talk to a technical person, things start making sense. Iron Dome, it blows up in many of these defense systems. They blow up near the target. They don't have to explode on it. They don't have to strike it. They blow up, it's enough to cause damage and dismantle it in the air. You don't do that. You have to hit not just the target, but you have to continuously track it and a specific location on that target. And maybe walk us through the technical part of this. If someone fires a rocket and all it has is a chemical propellant, and there's not even necessarily a guidance system behind it, all it's doing is it's just burning and flying with whatever trajectory it had.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be accurate because they aim at cities.
So what do you target? What does the laser go after? It goes after engines, it goes after...
I can choose,
Okay.
or the system can choose where is the weakest point of the target, but it has to stay on it. Example is like aiming at a coin from Tel Aviv to Herzliya, 20 kilometers from, and you have to stay on the coin. The coin is moving, and you have to stay on it continuously. Okay. That's the target. That's the goal, and they have succeeded in doing it. In order to hit it very effectively.
So what's the limit on this technology? You said you can just add additional lasers. Does it go all the way up to ballistic missiles, or is there a point where it doesn't work or it's less effective?
There are some limits, mainly atmospheric limits, clouds, something like this. So if you have a big laser on an airplane, you get a larger ranges, you don't have a limitation and so on. Of course, the platform is a limitation. So you can play with it. Today, where there is a joke in Israel that Ben-Gurion asked Raphael how much time it will take to develop some new system. They said 10 years. 9 years for you to decide. 1 year for us to implement it. So that's now we are in the same situation almost, because we know what to do. We just have to define that this is the solution, put the resources on it, and we can do it.
So you're saying that the limitation really is the brilliant minds that are working on these projects?
Yeah, it's a decision and preferences. So the price or the cost of such system is per the system itself is not cheap, but as we said before, if the return on investment is very good.
Maybe 2011, I think, was the first time Iron Dome was effectively deployed in a conflict, maybe. And I was sitting, this has happened several times, where I go on vacation in Tel Aviv and a war starts the same day. We're sitting there in downtown Tel Aviv, and there's the first siren of the war. I think it was 2011. And we saw the Iron Dome intercepts overhead. There were, I think, 2. The pieces fall in the street next to us, and everyone in the street looks at it and just goes back to their business. And I remember thinking at the time, I think this is going to change. I mean, this completely changed our lives. I didn't think we knew at the time how much it would. Then we realized, wait a minute, our enemies are going to try to overwhelm it, so we make more and more systems. Now you've solved the financial part of it. I mean, once you've deployed enough of these systems, so you have an initial cost, your intercept cost is marginal. I mean, probably your man hours of operating the system are more expensive than
Yeah, even the system is part of Iron Dome right now, and it doesn't need any personnel for it, just technicians to
maintain.
but it works automatically.
We fought off Iranian ballistic missiles, ICBMs, multiple waves of them, and drones by the Houthis, and launches from Hamas, and launches from Hezbollah, all at the same time. Every one of these enemies was supposed to be the kind of enemy that brings down our country, that knocks down a city, that eliminates, mass casualties, etc. And here we are standing. I mean, there have been casualties, but they're much lower than anyone expected. And it seems like there's this constant progression of technological breakthroughs, and I'd say probably innovation that goes together with them in creating these amazing systems where somehow we're almost untouched by our enemies. And I'm looking at you sitting here. You sit, a very technical person-like manner. And no, we just combine these pieces. We're not the only ones who tried. Other countries have tried and failed, and they had a lot more money and a lot more manpower than we do. And again, I want to go in your mind, what is it that made it possible to put together a system that works and doesn't bankrupt the user every time they use it? What is the element that made this happen?
I think this is the spirit of Israelis, that nothing can stop us.
Mm-hmm.
And so if there is a problem like rockets, we can solve it. It's a fact that a citizen in Israel is the most protected citizen in the world regarding missiles, UAV, whatever. But I think we have focused a lot, in the defense, on defense and not on attacking.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end, if you want a victory, and we need a victory, so you need also to attack and to destroy the capability of your enemies. It's not enough just to protect. We thought that there is this image of a villa in the jungle.
Yeah.
So we thought that we just have to build walls, iron domes, iron beam, whatever, and this will be enough. But the jungle closed on you, so you must have capability to destroy the capabilities of your enemies. Otherwise, defense by itself is not enough. And we learn it in the hard way in this war.
Ehud Barak famously coins the villa in the jungle term. Talks about Israel being, this almost oasis that's protected from the craziness around us. And that's true. But if we didn't have those defense measures, we would be forced on a diplomatic or let's call it a strategic level to carry out actions that we just had no other choice but to defend ourselves by striking in enemy countries. And with what I know now, after 2 years of, more than 2 years of creating content on this topic, is the fact that we were able to defend the northern part of the country to a certain degree. It gave the government the flexibility to say, we can hold on taking care of Hezbollah while we deal with this front without opening up multiple fronts. We can hold off responding to Iran and to the Houthis while we're dealing with this. Then we can divert attention, Air Force, intelligence, satellites, funds, rockets, everything that goes with that, and deal with one enemy at a time, versus what they were trying to do to us, which is force our hands into an all-out war. And I agree with you. You have to be offensive too, not just defensive. But what the defense does, it prevents our country from going into complete emergency state, survival mode, and allows
a lot of time.
Yeah.
I agree, but we didn't put enough emphasis to my view. I'm a more technical guy, but as I see it, we put much more effort on the defense.
Yeah, I agree.
And we a little bit forgot the offensive issue, which is very important in order that the defense will not collapse, which gives you the capability to have more options and get, at the end, bring your citizens back to their places, even though they are very close to the border.
Yeah. I want you to help us organize what the different defense systems are, because I think it gets confusing. It gets confusing for me. So you have now Iron Beam, and then walk us through sort of the hierarchy of let's call it air defense. Is it Iron Dome and David Sling, Arrow? How does this work?
Yeah, we call it layers.
Okay.
So Iron Beam and Iron Dome is the lower layer. Then there is the David Sling, and then the Arrow. There is the Arrow 2, Arrow 3. And that's all the layers, and we are building other layers also. So at the end, the idea is that even if, let's say, a layer is just 85% or 90% capabilities, if you have one layer, then 10% will go into your citizen or country. But if you have two layers, even though each one of them is just 90%, at the end, you will get just 1%.
Our defense systems work better than published, and other countries' defense systems, specifically Russian systems in recent years, don't work anywhere near what they're supposed to work at, for various reasons. And I remember back in June, we call it in Hebrew Am Kelavi, what the Americans are calling midnight, Rising Lion, Midnight Hammer, the American operation on Iran. I was also then in reserves, and I remember looking up with my soldiers and seeing the layers of the intercepts. And you can see where, I'm in Judea and Samaria, looking up into the sky. You see the Iranian ballistic missiles flying outside of orb, somewhere in the atmosphere. I don't know where they were. Then you see one layer of interceptors come up. They blow them up into pieces. Then another layer of interceptors come up and blow them up into smaller pieces. Then I know that they fall in small pieces on the ground. And I look at that and I say, whoever is behind the system, they need to get a medal. It's so impressive to see everything working together at such a high level of accuracy. I'm still impressed.
The Iranians shoot at us something like 200 ballistic missiles.
Yeah.
And no one was hurt. But at the same night, 2 terrorists from Hebron came to Tel Aviv, and they murdered 7 Israelis. So you see that technology is a solution, but it's not enough. If the terrorists can go and come close to your population or civilians, the result is very problematic. So you have to find a solution to prevent it. So they will not have any option, even though they want or they think they have the option to do it. They will not have physically, they cannot do it. That's the reason that we have to have a clean area beyond our borders. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, we will have the 7 October again, and or the same thing in the north or in Syria.
So we've switched now. We've pivoted. You started out the interview as the technical person, the CTO, the R&D guy. This is not just philosophical and not just technical for you. This is a personal issue too. You lost your son in this war. Mm-hmm. And I can only imagine it has a very, very dramatic effect on the way you look at the world. How does his personal story connect into the way you look at the world today and into the technology we've been talking about?
My son, his name is Eton. He was an officer in a commando unit called the Goz in Israel. And he fought on 7 October. He was at home, but he took himself with 4 of his friends, officer friends, to the south and fought in a kibbutz called Nirim. Saved a lot of life there. And afterwards was fighting in Gaza for a few months. And then they went to the north. He have done a few special operations there before the war in Lebanon. And then the war was it started on 30th of September 24, and he was leading his company or squad in a battle in very close to our border, near Misgavam. It's a village called El Adesa. They were there for one night. The other night they fought on two buildings on this village in order to control the road in this village, in order that our armored vehicles can go in. So in one of these buildings, there was a terrorist group, and there was a fight there. And my son, Eton, was wounded. He got out, bring more soldiers in, and went first to the building in order to save his comrades, his soldiers. And then he was wounded the second time. And this time it was a hard injury, and they have to take him by a stretcher to Israel because helicopter and vehicle cannot go in. So they have to take him by foot all over this mountain, and took too much time. So when he arrived to the hospital, it was too late. We as a family have done two things. One is we understood that Eitan's will or wish was to influence people. That's what he has done with his soldier. Not just to give them the know-how how to fight as a commando soldier, but also why they are fighting. The reason to fight in Israel, why it's so important for them to be fighters. I remember that I sent him a letter when he was at the basic training of a commando soldier. I sent him a letter that I didn't know that. It was maybe two or 3 years ago, when the technology will fail. Our leaders will be wrong, and our general will miss. You will be there to save us.
Wow.
And that's what happened at the end. This generation, we discovered that they are something unique, not just technology guys, but they are unique in their capability to take themselves, put themselves in danger in order to save us all. That's the idea. And from the R&D guys, eyes, I find that they didn't have enough technology advantage in this face-to-face battles in Gaza and in the north. Of course, when you get such a loss, you understand things that you didn't thought about before. So this is the reason that I went back to Mafat, to DD-R&D, in order to try and help to develop solutions for them, that our soldier in the spearhead will have much more technology that will help them in such a face-to-face situation. That's my goal right now. Maybe less interesting technology, but much more important for them, and will save a lot of life. That's what I believe.
Yeah, I'm trying to get. Well, I can only imagine it's been a difficult season for you and for the family. But I think I have a lot of appreciation and respect to the fact that you've done this, and I've seen others do this. Take it to a place that's positive and that is building and that wants to build a legacy of, in your case, your son, who I'm sure you're very proud of, and do something of significance with it, and not just let the pain and the hurt Would you say this is a motivating force for you? Something that gives you energy or strength for what's coming next?
I think, first of all, that this was the spirit of Eton. He knew all the time, 1 year of a war, he knew that he is taking a very large risk. He was all the time in the front of the front.
Yeah.
And he knew it, and he said that right now his job is our mission now, our generation, our mission, and we will fight to the victory. That's what his words were, and he believed it and educated his soldier according to it. So I must continue. It was, for him, it was, he believed in free choice. So he chose to be the best soldier in his unit, best officer, and to be at the front of the front. That's, in Israel, that's what we do. We take the best ones, and they are in the front. And what I have to do is, first of all, try to bring his spirit to the next generation. So we, as a family, establish a foundation that is called Ruach Etan in Hebrew. In English, it's Etan spirit that is focused in education. So we are telling the story of Etan, and not just Etan, all the heroes from this war and from the other wars, in order that our young people will have understanding of why we are here, what we are fighting for, and why it's very important for us to be here on this land.
Because you've spent many, many years R&D, specifically when it comes to missiles and air defense. It's very, very much in the strategic sphere. And you're saying, wait a minute, I understand we have a gap, or we need to push harder into the tactical. These soldier on the ground at the edge, Chayil B'Katzeh, as we say in Hebrew, the last soldier sort of in the line who's facing the enemy. What is it that you're looking at and saying, I'm going to put energy into this. I'm going to put effort. I want to create something new. What is that?
For example, if you want to bring much more firepower to the front. So today they have mainly assault rifle.
Yeah.
It's very easy today to bring, let's say, the capability of overviewing a village, for example, with drones. Then if you see something, you can operate in it, not just with the Air Force, but by yourself, with another UAV that suicidal UAV or something that drop a bomb. We see it in Ukraine and Russia.
Yeah.
So this become the most successful or effective weapon today. And we have some of it. We didn't use it enough. They are explosive. Mines and such a thing that took a lot of life in Gaza and the north. We can detect it. We can detect even when they put it in, because we can control the area all the time. We can have control of our borders much better than we had before. Not just a wall, but something that go into the other side and control it. And if someone is moving, you know it much before you get into your defense line. So this kind of thing is, we know how to do it. We just have to focus on it, invest in it, more resources, and then we will have the solution. So the issue is to be focused and to understand that this is very important, especially to save life of our soldier and get the results or the victory much faster than we had this time.
You combine a few things that I think are very important, which is, and you said this beautifully, it's the technical know-how, the human expertise, but what you're talking about, your son, is not just the knowledge and the ability, but it's the answer to the question of why. Why are we doing this? And I think that's really the core of this entire conversation, which is we're doing all of this because there's a reason. Because we're here for a reason, because there's a reason for what we're trying to do here. And I think it's beautiful that you're carrying on your son's legacy in that sense of, one, educating people to a greater connection to why we're here. I think those are the two biggest questions every person ever deals with is, who am I and why am I here?
This is something that we are looking all our life. What is really the main role of our life?
Yeah.
So I think Eton found his role very, like I said, he was the best officer and he believed in what he's doing. And I'm trying to follow it.
I think you've already done it. You've done it once on the strategic level, and now you're going to do it again on the tactical level.
We will try, yeah.
Yeah. Bring your son's legacy, give it more life, and saving the lives of others. I think that's
the idea. Yeah.
That's an amazing calling. But this war showed us how many beautiful and impressive young men and women exist in this country. People who, you look at them, you wouldn't know, what's going on inside their heart and their mind, and then you see them, I don't say this lightly, fighting like lions, time and time again, but not just with a violence or brutality, but with a very strong sense of calling and direction and morality behind it. I've walked away from this experience deeply, deeply impressed. Your son's story and quite a few others that we've talked to of these people that really are the engine behind who we are as a people, but also the everlasting effect that it has on other people in society, on telling them the story and educating them on the significance of the way they view the world.
My son, very famous sentence because he made a film before he went to his last battle. And at the beginning of this film, video, he's saying that a real warrior fight for not because of the hate for what is in front of him, but because of the love for something that is beyond him. The love is the motivation, not the hate. And this is, I think this is really the difference between us and our enemies. Yeah. They are walking, they are fighting because of hate. And we are fighting for love. Love will win.
Here's the takeaway. Iran is under pressure, and history shows pressured regimes can become dangerous. Israel prepares for the next round not only with warnings and speeches, but with systems, lasers, and endurance. And Eton is not a headline. It's a tool designed to change the economics of defense so Israel can hold the line longer. But here's the question that stays open. If Iran's leadership feels it's fighting for survival, does it choose restraint or does it choose escalation to shift the blame outward? I'm Mati Shoshani. This is Boots on the Ground. Like, subscribe, and share. We stand for the truth without propaganda, so keep on praying for the peace of Jerusalem, and next time, we're going one level deeper with what God is doing in the Holy Land. Hello, this is Mati here in Jerusalem with TBN Israel.
This is Yair Pinto from TBN Israel here in Jerusalem. TBN Israel is keeping viewers informed with Israel-focused news, culture, and what God is doing in this land.
Support TBN Israel today online at tbn.org/Israel. Thank you.